What is going on, everyone? This is Eric coming at you from just outside of Hartford, Connecticut, and today we are going to be discussing the Trent Richardson trade, which occurred back during the 2012 NFL Draft. Now, this was a swapping of draft picks between the Cleveland Browns and the Minnesota Vikings that saw Cleveland jump up one spot in the first round in exchange for giving up 3 later round picks. So before we get into the video, I do want to mention that we did actually put up this video back in 2020, but I've changed how I do the trade breakdown series. That one went into complete detail on every single trade that was involved whatsoever. So I've decided, to shorten the video, and I thought, Trent Richardson more than deserves his own video. So without further ado, we'll start by discussing the Cleveland Browns, who got the 3rd overall pick in the 2012 draft. With that, they would select running back Trent Richardson. Now, he missed all of the preseason for his rookie year after he needed to get some surgery to remove some cartilage fragments in his knee. But that was something that they knew going into the season. Now, he did make it in time for the regular season opener, but his rookie season wasn't the best. He ended the campaign with 267 carries for 950 yards and 11 touchdowns. The good. So he did set the Cleveland rookie record for rushing touchdowns with 11, breaking the legendary Jim Brown's record of 9. The bad. Everything else. He had an average of 3.6 yards per carry, which was worst among rookie running backs that qualified. So, yeah, not good. Now, he did add 51 receptions for 367 yards and a touchdown, so at least he had some decent reception yards. Now, in the first 2 games of 2013, he recorded 31 carries for 105 yards, but he failed to cross the goal line. And then after those 2 games, he would be traded to Indianapolis. Now, I do have to mention that it's very bad for a top 5 pick to be traded 18 games into his tenure with the team. That's not good. Now, he's traded to Indianapolis in exchange for a 2014 first-round pick. This would become the 26th overall pick, and Cleveland would trade this. We're going to discuss this in a future Johnny Manziel trade breakdown, so stay tuned for that. Once it's out, it will be linked in the description below. So that's how Cleveland did. How did Minnesota do? So Minnesota, like I said, got 4 picks in this trade. The first of which was the 4th overall, which they would use to select offensive tackle Matt Kalil. Now, it's rumored that the Vikings were going to pick Kalil 3rd overall had they just held on to the pick. They were heavily connected to him, but it seemed like Cleveland feared that Minnesota was going to trade down so someone else could pick Richardson. That's why they made the trade. So Kalil stepped in as the team's starting left tackle, and he had a strong first season for the Vikings. His next 3 seasons were good, but he did take a step back from his strong rookie year. He did, however, manage to start all possible 64 games in his first 4 seasons with the team. However, in week 2 of 2016, he would hurt his hip, and this would effectively end his season and his tenure with the Vikings, as with his rookie contract expired, he would walk as a free agent. He was a 1-time Pro Bowler, and that was his rookie year. So, not the best, but, at least he made a Pro Bowl, and he hung around for his rookie contract. So next we have the 118th pick. This would be used to select wide receiver Jairus Wright. Now, Wright had a solid 6-year tenure with the Vikings, as he would appear in 79 games, starting in 15 of them. Over this time, he recorded 224 receptions for 2,039 yards and 10 touchdowns before walking. Not the worst pick again, but definitely more productive than Trent Richardson. Next, we had the 139th pick. This would be used to select safety Robert Blanton. Now, Blanton started as a backup over his first 2 years in Minnesota, recording 48 tackles over that time span. However, he would win the starting job in 2014, and he responded with a strong season, recording a career-best 106 tackles while adding the only interception and fumble recoveries of his career. He moved back into a backup role in 2015, ending that season with 34 tackles. With his rookie contract up, he walked as a free agent. Lastly, Minnesota also got the 211th pick. They would trade this to the Tennessee Titans in exchange for a 2013 6th-round pick, and that would become the 176th pick. It would in turn be traded to the Arizona Cardinals in exchange for a player and a pick. The player would be cornerback Anthony Orange, and Orange himself, he had a decent first year in Minnesota. He would earn 7 starts across 15 appearances. In that time, he would record 37 tackles and 5 passes defended. Now in 2013, he would be moved into a backup role, and he would only record 5 tackles and a single pass defended, but he did add an interception across 10 games. However, in November of that year, he would be released after being arrested for an incident which involved his girlfriend. Lastly, the team Minnesota also got the 2013 pick. That would be the 213th pick. With that, they would select linebacker Michael Matti. Matti would appear in 23 games over 2 years for the Vikings, and he was mostly used as a special team player and a depth piece. He did record 18 tackles over that time, but he was cut prior to 2015. He was a solid pick, though, all things considered. So that's how Minnesota did, and that's how Cleveland did. How did the other three teams do? Of course, we're going to start with the Indianapolis Colts, who got running back Trent Richardson. Now, Indianapolis needed a running back after their starter was ruled out for the year in the 2013 season, which is why they made this trade. However, the problems that plagued Richardson in Cleveland followed him to Indianapolis. He ended up losing the starting job near the end of the season, unfortunately for him. He ended the year with 157 carries for only 458 yards and 3 touchdowns. If you're curious, that's an average of 2.9 yards per carry. He fumbled his first career postseason carry, and he essentially was benched for the remainder of the playoff run that Indianapolis had. He was slightly more productive in 2014, recording 159 carries for 519 yards with 3 touchdowns, but really, it wasn't that good, and the team did not make the team made the playoffs, but they didn't even start Richardson. They didn't even play him. They didn't feel comfortable playing him, and this included him being suspended for a game after he missed a practice. Now, he was waived prior to the 2015 season. So, yeah, not a good pick for Indianapolis or Cleveland at all. He did break out in the Alliance of American Football, but that was it, and he never got another NFL chance. So, next we have the Tennessee Titans, who got the 211th pick in the 2012 draft. They would use that to select defensive end Scott Solomon. Now, Solomon would record 4 tackles while adding a pair of quarterback hits in a backup special teams role as a rookie, but he was cut after his rookie season. Lastly, we have the Arizona Cardinals, who would receive the 176th pick in the 2013 draft. This pick would be traded away. We will discuss it in the Carson Palmer trade. Now, before I go, I do want to mention why Trent Richardson failed. So when I was doing research for this video, that was a question that came to mind. So I started watching videos, and I'm like, why did Trent Richardson fail? Why did he fail? What was up? What was up with the whole Richardson's career? So this is what I came to the conclusion of. So in hindsight, one could say that he's, quote, just a typical pre-2018 Cleveland Browns draft pick, end quote. However, I believe that there is more to Richardson's story than that. That knee surgery that he underwent was the second one on his right knee. This caused him to lose some of his explosiveness and he ended up putting on some weight after this, which is never good for a running back. Now, there's also the fact that he constantly missed holes in the running game. Richardson was always on top-tier teams prior to the NFL when he was in high school and college. And of course, top-tier teams have top-tier offensive linemen. Therefore, if you told Richardson to cut to the left, there would be a hole on the left side between the guard and the tackle. So he would cut to the left, and it would be easier said than done for him. He would just do it. So in the NFL, as you know, things are more at a level playing field. So if you tell Richardson, all right, cut to the left, there's going to be a hole between the guard and the tackle, the defense isn't always going to let you do that. They're going to stop it. They're going to plug that hole. Richardson wouldn't see the hole opening on the right side when the right tackle got a really good block, so he would run to the left where he thought he had to go. So that hurt. And he never really was good enough at reading the field because he never had to. So that's why I believe Richardson failed miserably in the NFL. But this was the Trent Richardson trade. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like I said, we will have 3 links to the other trades in the description below. Of course, the original Trent Richardson trade. And once the Johnny Manziel and Carson Palmer trades up, they will be linked as well. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Have a good rest of your day.